From NBC News, this is Today with Matt Lauer and Savannah Guthrie, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
Back now at 8:37 with a new spin on the modern family. Couples who are not dating or married, but choosing to raise a child together, an arrangement that comes with some criticism.
I throw the snowball?
Heidi Sadowsky and David Arrick are the proud parents of 2.5-year-old Nate. And while they each share a biological connection with their son, what they don't share is a romantic relationship with each other.
This is someone that I've known for a very, very long time, and I trust and I love.
When Heidi turned 41, she explored anonymous sperm donor options.
It left me feeling a little cold inside. I really wanted my child to have two parents, and I wanted to share the responsibility of raising a child with somebody.
So she turned to her gay friend of 20 years, David, who also wanted children.
And I said, David, we used to talk about this. I'm ready.
I knew deep down that I was going to be this great dad.
3 months later, Heidi was pregnant.
Ring around the road.
While Heidi and David believe that their co-parenting is rooted in having Nate's best interests in mind,
We all fall down.
experts say this trend should be approached with caution. The Center for Marriage and Families at the Institute for American Values says, at best, these parents are creating a good divorce situation. At worst, parents who have no foundation as a couple will soon face many conflicts over how to raise the child.
If you don't love the other person that you're parenting your child with, it makes it that much more difficult to compromise.
And while Heidi and David admit their family may not be as traditional as others, they stand by their decision.
We feed and love and clothe and shelter him. The fact that we're not married, it's not a big deal.
David Arrick and Heidi Sadowsky are with us now, along with Darren Spedale. He is the founder of FamilyByDesign.com. That's a website that connects people who are looking for a coupleless co-parenting partnership. Good morning to all of you. Thank you for being here.
Morning.
Well, Heidi and David, we know what the good news is. You have this beautiful little boy, Nate, that we just saw. How is this working out, and what are the biggest challenges so far?
Well, the biggest challenges for me so far, for us, is, we do have separate households, so it takes a lot of communicating. We need to really be on the same page. And if we're not under the same roof, that's a bit of a challenge at times.
And Heidi, with Nate so little, as I understand it, he spends about one night a week right now with David. Is your ultimate goal to have the time split 50-50?
I think that's going to evolve over time. I think as Nate gets a little older, we will see what's best for him as far as where he's going to school and what have you. The time that he spends with David will definitely increase over time. I don't know if it'll be 50-50. We just have to decide what's in Nate's best interest.
You guys are lucky. You know each other for 20 years. I know you sorted out a lot of the nuts and bolts, the legal, the finances, the custody arrangement, but there's so much in parenting that's truly unpredictable.
That's right.
Do you worry about that at all?
If I worried, it would shut me down, and I always think about the best interests of my son. And we know, as a couple, as a de facto couple, that things are going to change along the way, and we have to be open to that. It's going to evolve. You
mentioned the best interest of the child. I mean, you've heard the criticism that this most approximates, I guess, a friendly divorce situation. I mean, is it good for a child to be shuttling through both households?
I think if that's all that child knows, then it becomes normal. It becomes okay. And as long as you provide the love and care and support that that child needs, whether you're in one household or two, it works.
Darren, let me turn to you. You've got a website that's devoted to putting people together. Have you had a huge response?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I founded Family by Design as a new parenting option for the millions of adults out there in their 30s and 40s who are single, childless, and still want to become parents. And we all know someone like that in our lives. Think of Liz Lemon from 30 Rock, for example. And so the way we do that is, first, we educate people about what are parenting partnerships, and we walk them through the process with a guide through the site. We actually connect people with our matching technology to find their ideal parenting partner, and then we actually have experts and people who are in these type of relationships who are on the site to answer their questions and give them more information.
Let me have you respond to the criticism. There was a family advocacy group spokesperson who was quoted in the Times this weekend. She said, "It's a terrible idea deliberately consigning a child to be raised in two different worlds with parents who did not even attempt to form a loving bond with one another." Would you agree that in the best circumstances, a child should be raised in a home where the family, in the traditional nuclear family?
I think I come from a traditional relationship, and I think, of course, those are a wonderful way to have a family. But listen, we all know someone who is that person, right? We know someone who is that single person in their 30s who's just got wonderful love and care, and they just would make such a great parent. And if you can connect two people of that same mindset together and get them talking about the issues around parenting and take the time to build that relationship before they go down that path, I mean, that's going to be a really lucky child.
I was going to say that this is a little bit like a dating website plus more. I mean, how long do you recommend couples talk about this before they take this on?
Well, I'm also writing a book on parenting partnerships, and so I've interviewed dozens of couples in this type of relationship to understand what are the issues. And there are really three things it comes down to. First, you have to take the time to get to know the person and build a real bond of friendship, and that does take time. This does not happen overnight. Number two, you have to talk through all the issues around parenting and write it down. What are your feelings about what you need to cover? And then, to your point, once you have a child, things change, and you have to build in the flexibility and strength in the relationship to handle.
And very quickly, Heidi and David, any quick advice?
Know what you're getting into. This is not dating. It's not. This is, we're creating. The stakes are very, very high. We're creating a life, and we have a son together.
And know what you want as well from the female half of the partnership. If it is a male-female couple, if you will. Know if you want an involved parent versus just an anonymous donor.
Well, it's interesting to get your story and your perspective. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
So what do you think of coupleless co-parenting? Will it take off? If you want to weigh in on this issue, you can head to today.com and join the conversation.